Hello everyone, welcome to this week's video from the Purple Penny. My name's Mark. I own and run the Purple Penny along with my wife Catherine. The Purple Penny is a small family run coin and banknote dealership. We've been trading out of this shop in Mawson Lakes for the last 6 years and a few months. And primarily what we do is buy and sell coins, banknotes and collectibles and resell them through our website, thepurplepenny.com, or here in the shop. The shop here is open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday 10 to 4 and Saturday 9 to 1. And thank you to Michael who suggested some changes to some of the slides for these videos, which I've taken on board and will get done next week. And also to Michael for supplying me a so-called error coin to discuss in the video today. We'll just say a few hellos before we get started. Hello Sam, hello Damien, hello Peter, hello Mark, hello Ray and Catherine who is sitting outside there. Now, last week of course we had a mint release on Thursday. We had two different product streams released. One was the annual silver kangaroo coins. There was a 1 ounce frosted unk and a 1 ounce proof coin released. And of course there was the 7 coin coloured train 50-cent piece set. The release was quite good here in the shop. It was good to see, I guess, a different demographic. Train people coming in to pick up their train sets, and they sold very well. The kangaroo coins, we've got a few of those left in stock. They're up on the website now. Just a couple of observations. One is just a reminder to people who express interest in items. We can't return anything that we don't sell to the mint. So if you are going to take part in the ballot and choose not to, I guess, follow through what you've asked us about, then that sometimes does leave us in the lurch. I guess it's good that the mint's doing the ballot because it gives coins a wider availability to collectors. But if you do back out of things when you express interest with us, then we don't get to return that stuff. Secondly, I did notice with some interest some conversations on the Mint social media about the ballot and how that should work with authorised dealers like us. And there seemed to be some thought that the ballot should get all of the inventory from the Mint, and then anything not sold through the ballot should then be passed out to authorised dealers. And this comes back to what I just said before about entering the ballot and not choosing to follow through with a physical dealer like us. If you put your name down for something, the Mint doesn't let you know before release day if you have been successful in the ballot. And of course you can't back out of the ballot once you're in it. But from our point of view, we are a business as well. We need to be able to sell stuff. We need to be able to sell what we get. And we certainly don't want to be lumped with the products that the Mint can't sell through the ballot. So I guess if you are a collector, you need to make your mind up where you're going to be buying your things through, what channel you want to buy them through. We do our best to support our regulars here in the shop. And if you do choose to go through us, we will do our best for you. And we can only apologise if the Mint doesn't let you know if you've won through the ballot as quickly as what you'd like. Right, that'll do for that today. We'll say a few more hellos. Hello Gwen, hello Michelle, hello JJ and Ted. And Peter says he won a silver proof kangaroo in the ballot. His first ballot win in ages. And hello Bevan. Thanks for dropping in last week, Bevan. It was good to see you. Now let's get on to the news. We will be closed this Saturday. So don't come in on Saturday. We'll be closed. We're usually open on Saturdays from 9 till 1. But we've decided to have a day off this weekend. We'll be open till 4 on Friday as usual. So if you need any coin supplies for the weekend, then drop in by 4 o'clock on Friday. And we'll be reopening on Wednesday of next week. There will be a delay on orders placed between probably Thursday and Wednesday of next week, a delay on shipping. So the website will still be receiving orders, but we won't be mailing anything for a few days. So if you do place an order, just please be patient with us, and I do apologise for any inconvenience that might cause you. Now, next up on the news, we'd like to think that other places in the world are a bit more sensible than the coin collecting media here in Australia, but unfortunately that's not the case. They do have the same problems in the UK that they have here about people on YouTube and various other content networks overhyping the values of things. I did talk about in the video, not last week, the week before, I talked about this very subject, and it has hit the mainstream media in the UK. A supposed coin influencer called Coin Collecting Wizard has issued a warning about the risk of scammers when buying and selling rare coins. The 1971 new penny, which people believe to be worth a whopping £5 million, is actually just worth its face value. These coins are incredibly common and are worth exactly the same as what it says on the tin, 1p. They are designed to trick you, these offers, into either handing over money, personal info, or just chasing fake dreams. Always do a double check with reliable sources. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Now, smart person, this influencer, is not going to win any friends publishing things like that. And you should take the same warnings or the same advice when you're looking at what appear to be common coins that have supposed high values. And just as he says at the bottom there, always double check with reliable sources. If it sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. So good to see that hitting the mainstream media in the UK. Just read a couple things here before we continue on. Hello Petra, hello Peter, hello Fiona. Sam says, I always buy through you guys, although I finally had a win in the ballot, but I've still paid for what I've got from you. And Samantha, that's really appreciated. I guess the thing is that you just need to decide what way you're going to go, and it's unfortunate the Mint doesn't let people know when they're going to win or not. I mean, it would be easy enough to just let them know, but I guess they have that 8:30 p.m. AM Eastern deadline, and unfortunately little guys like us are caught out sometimes. And Michelle says, same here Peter, if I get something through the EQL, so be it, but I'll support any EOI, my waste, but it's an honour code. Thank you Michelle, that's good to hear that. Hello Taz, and hello Alan, thank you for joining in and watching today. Next item in the news is a detectorist, and I do like my detectorist news. A British detectorist on his second outing with a brand new detector has found 2 Roman swords only about an inch below the surface in a field in Gloucestershire. The swords had been damaged by a plough, so they had raised to the surface probably by farm work, and thankfully they were recovered before they were destroyed. And a local archaeological society has been brought in to excavate where they were found, and it's found that possibly the coins were buried on the site of a previously unknown Roman villa. The Roman villa covers several hundred square metres and is built on the site of an Iron Age British settlement that dates to several thousand years ago. It's thought maybe that the swords were buried in the grounds of the villa in about 300 or 400 AD when Saxon raiders were roaming through the area. And if you are interested, the swords themselves are not the famous gladius or gladii of Roman legionaries. These swords are known as Spartas, which were the longer swords that were used by Roman cavalry or Roman auxiliary cavalry. Amazing find there by that gentleman who you can see in the picture, just his second time out with a new metal detector. So I would just be amazed to be able to find that sort of thing here in Australia. I will just share a little story with you. We get quite a few metal detectorists coming in here into the shop. We had one a couple of weeks ago that found a 4.3 gram gold nugget alongside a footpath here in Adelaide, just a few inches below the surface, and it was in the river sand footings of the footpath. and we believe that probably the river sand had been dredged up and used to lay the foundations of a footpath, and that gold nugget was there in that sand. So quite a remarkable find alongside a suburban footpath here in Adelaide, a 4.3 gram gold nugget. Now that's it for the news for this week. I thought what we would do, based on the suggestion of Peter Andrews... Oh no, wait a second. No, we have one more thing, sorry. There's a coin release this Thursday, another coin release. This Thursday at 8 o'clock, and this is the annual Book Week review that the Mint has done, I want to say 3 times previously. It could be 2, I'm not sure. At least 2, possibly 3. Always happens about this time of the year, coincides with Book Week at schools. And this year it is 50 years of the Rainbow Serpent, and as usual they've released 3 formats. There's a coloured 20-cent coin on a card, 1750, the same coloured 20-cent piece in what's called a special edition book, $50, and the same design coloured 20-cent piece, but this time gold plated, in what they call a deluxe special edition book. Mintage of the copper nickel coin is 25,000, 12,500 of those in the card, 5,000 in the special edition book, so that leaves 7,500 for some other format. And the mintage of the gold plated coin is 3,000. As usual, our allocations for those things are very small. If you are local, then give us a yell. We may have some available in the shop on release day. Now, back onto what I was going to talk about today, the topic of the day. As I said, thanks to Peter Andrews for this. I thought I'd have a look at AI. I haven't asked AI any coin-related questions for a little while. And the last time I did it, I was singularly unimpressed. So I thought today I would look at some AI responses to common coin questions. I thought I would ask it some common questions, and I'd ask it some more difficult questions. And then I'd ask it some questions that I'd seen posted on social media. And so let's just jump into it. I have consulted with Google AI and ChatGPT, which are probably the 2 best known AI platforms at the moment, and asked them a number of questions, both of them, and you can see the responses there. So the first one is the 1988 HH $2 coin valuable? I thought this was an interesting question to ask, because there's no doubt that the volume of questions that we get about this has dropped off in the last several months. We still get 1 or 2 questions a week about it, but we're not talking 4 or 5 a day, which we used to get. And I am beginning to think, if it isn't that Google's AI now is answering the question correctly about this particular subject. And if you're wondering, Google's AI overview appears at the top of their search results. So if you are doing the search on your phone or on a computer or a tablet or some other device, then there's a good chance you're going to see Google's AI summary at the top of those search results. And as of this morning, at least, Google's AI is quite accurate about this particular question. Google's AI says, no, the 1988 Australian $2 coin with the HH initials is generally not valuable beyond its face value of $2. The HH refers to the designer Horst Hahn, and these coins were minted in large numbers in both 1988 and 1989. While some sellers may try to inflate the price based on misinformation, the coins are readily available and not considered to be rare, according to coin collecting sites. Quite accurate there, so Google AI is right on the money there. I asked ChatGPT, is it rare or valuable? No, it's not rare. Over 160 million of these coins were minted in 1988. Around 31 million more were made in 1989, also bearing the HH initials. Because of this massive mintage, they are common in circulation. So, 1 for AI there. They've got that particular question right. I did have a quick talk to Catherine this morning about some other coins that were commonly asked about, so thank you for your help there. This is another one that we get asked quite a bit. Is the 2005 World War II 20-cent coin valuable? Remembering Google's AI overview is going to appear at the top of the search results on your computer or on your phone or on your device if you've opted in for that. Google's AI says, no, the 2005 World War 20-cent coin is generally not considered valuable beyond its face value. While it is a commemorative coin marking the 60th anniversary of the end of World War II, it has a high mintage of over 34 million, making it relatively common. Uncirculated versions can be found in coin sets, but even these are not highly valued. Right on the money there too. ChatGPT says circulated coins are typically worth only face value. Uncirculated or mint condition coins may sell for a couple of dollars to collectors. Error coins like die cracks, off-center strikes or double strikes can be more valuable, but they must be confirmed as genuine errors. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I would be quite happy to cut and paste both of those answers into an email or a text message and forward it on to someone who had asked me about those questions. I'm quite content that those answers are 100% correct. Next one, the donation dollar, and this is one that we still get asked quite a bit. You might remember the donation dollar is the one with the green paint applied to the reverse of the coin. These coins were minted in 2020 and 2021. Total mintage was about 25 million. The coin was made specifically by the Mint to encourage Australians to donate more money. What does Google AI have to say about it? A donation dollar, a special Australian $1 coin, is generally only worth its face value of $1, despite some online listings falsely claiming it's worth thousands. According to coin experts, the coin was designed to be donated to charity, and whilst it's a circulating coin, its value is not significantly higher than its face value, says the Royal Australian Mint. What does ChatGPT say? The Australian $1 donation coin, the dates it's got there are wrong. Australia released $1 commemorative coins in certain years to promote charitable causes, such as raising awareness for the Australian Red Cross or other charitable efforts. These coins are often issued in limited numbers, but their value is usually close to face value. So I do get a feeling that ChatGPT there has fallen back on more of a generic response, because clearly its responses are not specific to the 2020 or 2021 donation dollar, whereas Google's AI overview is quite specific. Now, I would be quite happy to, as I said, cut and paste Google's AI response there in response to someone via text message or email. Whereas the ChatGPT response, I wouldn't use that because it is very non-specific, but it is encouraging that it has suggested that the coin is not valuable despite its non-specific response there. So here's a different way of searching on Google or on ChatGPT. I used an image here, and this is a way of searching. You can use your phone to take a picture of a coin and run that through ChatGPT or through Google's image search thing, which is called Google Lens. So I used an image that I just chose randomly from Google image search of the 1996 Parkes dollar and uploaded that to Google's Lens and asked a question, is this coin valuable? And Google's response to that was, released over 2 decades ago, this coin has retained its allure and rarity, proving elusive in higher grades when found in circulation. As a result, it's become sought after a treasure amongst collectors. Its scarcity and singular status contribute to its prominence in the realm of Australian decimal coins. Now that might sound like a load of overblown marketing talk, and that's because it is. Because Google's AI chose not to provide a response for this particular search, but it defaulted to some marketing speak off of an Australian coin dealer's website, and that's the first thing that searchers see at the top of those search results. So as far as I'm concerned, that is a fail for Google search results on whether a Parkes dollar is worth something. It is a complete fail. Of course, a circulated Parkes dollar is only worth $1. The mintage is very high, over 20 million. What did ChatGPT say when I uploaded this image along with the question that I've got shown there? It said, this coin in circulated condition is generally worth face value $1. Uncirculated proof coins, if you have a pristine uncirculated version or one from a proof set, it might fetch $2 to $5 or slightly more depending on market and condition. And collector value, this coin isn't extremely valuable in itself unless it's part of a set or has a special minting error. So ChatGPT did identify this coin correctly, and as far as I'm concerned, it valued it correctly too. Circulated, it is just worth $1. If it is uncirculated or out of a proof set, then you will get something more for it. But you know, that value there of just a few dollars is absolutely correct. So as far as I'm concerned, they were the easy questions. I thought I would give the old AI a bit more of a push here and compare it to some response from some real people. So I had seen in the last 24 hours a post on Reddit, which is a social media platform, showing a Clip Planchet penny. And there was another post on Facebook that I saw yesterday showing a different type of error. But let's get on to the Reddit one. Oh, look, I've done a terrible job with that slide there. Just hang on a second. No, there's nothing I can do about it. I do apologise. I've done a terrible job with the slide there. Our little logo penny is over the top of the Clip Planchet error that someone had posted up on Reddit. Now on Reddit, this person posted up in 1953 Melbourne minted penny that had a decent sized Clip Planchet error. You could see Blakesley effect on it clearly on the right hand side of the penny there. What I did with this image is I uploaded it to ChatGPT, and along with the Reddit's poster's question, can anybody shed some light on whether this is damaged or misprinted? We'll just ignore the spelling of weather there. That's of course not how you spell weather, unless you're worried about whether it's going to rain. Now what did ChatGPT say? ChatGPT said, this coin does not appear to have a rare misprint or minting error. The condition of the coin suggests it's been in circulation for many years, leading to natural wear and damage. There is no clear evidence of an unusual error based on this image. And of course that's wrong. It is a genuine Clip Planchet error. Now what did Real Humans say on Reddit? Two of the posters were non-committal. They weren't sure, and they posted up links to other websites where you could perhaps lead yourself to make your own conclusions about the coin, including someone linking to the Australian Coin Collecting blog about genuine Clip Planchet errors. Clearly we need to rewrite that article because the person who shared our link wasn't clear. The fourth poster there said it is definitely PMD, and then the final poster there said it's a real Clip Planchet. Look at the weakness opposite the clipped error. That's called Blakesley effect, a sign of a real error, which is what I just said. So ChatGPT's AI said it wasn't an error, it is a real error. But that being said, 3 out of 4 people on Reddit were unclear about whether it was a real error, and only one person flagged it as being a real error. So perhaps the AI in this case isn't at worse than any real person. Now the next one was this guy here. Someone on Facebook posted this up on an error coin group and used it as an example of what's called a cold shut error. And I thought I'd upload that image to ChatGPT and ask it what sort of error coin it is. And ChatGPT said the flattened region on the reverse side of this coin, especially near the kangaroo, is most likely due to a die gouge or striking error. It is not a typical coin feature and would generally be considered a minting error, though it's likely to be a common one given the age and production numbers of the 1964 penny. If you believe this might be a rare or unique error, the coin's condition and the extent of the error will help determine its value to collectors. Now, that's interesting because ChatGPT has decided it's an error, and certainly someone in the comments of the Facebook post decided that it wasn't an error and said it was done with an angle grinder, and someone else thought that it was against the law to damage legal tender. Now it is a real error, and I'll go into why it's a real error on another day. This did lead me to think that, does ChatGPT really know if this is an error, or is it defaulting to some sort of response? So what I did next was upload this picture to ChatGPT, and my thanks have to go to Michael Todd who brought this error in, this damaged coin in last week. And he said, oh, you should put this up as an example of coins that aren't errors on your video. So I thought, right, I'm going to take a picture of this 20-cent piece and ask ChatGPT whether it thinks it's an error or not. Now, if you're wondering, the 20-cent piece is not an error. Someone has gouged at it with some sort of circular tube or the corners of a screwdriver or something like that. And so I uploaded this picture to ChatGPT and I said, is this coin damaged or an error? And here's ChatGPT's conclusions. This coin is most likely the result of a minting error, specifically a die cap error or metal spill from the minting press. It's not damaged in the traditional sense like scratches or corrosion, but instead is an interesting and unusual error. 100% wrong and dangerously wrong. The coin is damaged in the traditional sense, and it is damaged by scratches. It is definitely not a die cap error, and I have no idea what a metal spill from the minting press is. And what is really funny about this is, as I was getting set up for this video, literally 5 minutes before we went live, we had a phone call from someone who had a 2011 Wills and Kate wedding 20-cent piece. He wanted to know if they were common with errors, and I said no, not really. And he said, well, I've got one, and I've just asked Google's AI if it was an error. I asked him to send through some pictures, and he uploaded some pictures via text message and sent them to us of a Wills and Kate 20-cent piece with virtually identical damage on it to the one that I'm showing you here, where someone has gouged at it with something circular. Now, given that ChatGPT seems to have defaulted to this, calling this a particular error, I thought, okay, let's ask us if the other side of the coin is an error. And this is just the other side of that 20-cent piece. Clearly just a regular 20-cent piece there, heavily circulated. And I asked it two different questions. One is, what type of coin error is this? And then using the same image, is this coin an error? ChatGPT decided when I asked it what type of coin error this is, it decided that the coin was a double die error. The coin has a double dyed error. It is a minting flaw where part of the design appears more than once due to an issue with the die during production. Double die errors can make a coin more interesting to collectors. Now, is this coin an error? The same coin? This coin does not appear to be a minting error based on visible details. So we've got two conflicting answers there from the same photo, both given with different questions. Now, I'll wind it up there. What does this make me think? This makes me think that as the AI models mature by digesting the content that has been created by content creators like us, and let's not get into the topic that, as far as I'm concerned, AI models are stealing our content. I mean, Catherine and I have written hundreds and hundreds of articles over the years, and AI is using that content to train itself, and without payment or a credit given to us, and to make their models better. And there's no doubt they're making their models better, because those simple questions that I asked it about HH $2 coins and World War II 20-cent pieces, those answers have changed in the last few years because the model has improved. So I probably don't have a problem with people asking AI simple coin questions, simple value questions. It seems to be that the model is good enough now that it's answering some of those questions correctly. But when it comes to more complicated questions about interpreting images, it is still hilariously wrong. Now, will it ever be right? I don't know. I don't feel like it's going to replace Catherine and I anytime soon, which is a great shame, because I'd love to be able to just tell everyone to ask AI and stay home and watch TV or something, or go for a walk. But that ain't going to happen. It looks like AI is still well and truly off the mark with this sort of stuff, and it's not going to be opening a coin shop anytime soon or writing articles for Peter Andrews magazine Independent Coin News anytime soon. Right, that's it. It's been fun. I actually really enjoyed doing that. It was interesting, just provoking the various AI models to give you different responses. And as always, I do counsel you to have caution when using them, but it looks like if you ask it very basic questions, maybe it's going to be okay now or reasonably useful. But if you ask it anything more complex, then you are not going to understand that the questions are wrong. Right, let's have a look at some responses here before we close out for the day. Hello Mary, hello Patrick. JJ says, I guess the problem is that these errors are not common, hence AI didn't have enough data to train on. I think that's one problem. It's also that it is very difficult from a 2D image to interpret things. For example, PCGS did try automating grading from 2D images, but it didn't work. JJ says it's also harder for any AI to answer a rare event question. Yes, that's correct. Jason says, interesting to see the response from just tell me about this coin without the error prompt. And yeah, Jason, that's exactly right. It's from what I've seen this morning, you can get two completely conflicting responses just based on the question that you ask. And I guess that the models at the moment, you can lead them to a particular response that you're looking for by asking them a question. Peter says the more it learns, the better it will get. Yep, that's right. And JJ says it has very weak backing for themselves. AI can change its mind very quickly. And yeah, that's my experience. Certainly Google's AI summary at the top of the search results 2 years ago was wrong about many of the questions. And certainly a couple of the questions I asked it today, it was wrong, whereas today it was quite accurate. No worries Peter, no worries Ted, no worries Michelle, no worries Gwen, no worries Carolyn, no worries Mary. Thank you everyone for your for watching today and your thanks. Always looking for new topics to talk about. If you've got anything you'd like me to cover or anything that I've covered before that you'd like me to go over again, please feel free to ask. If not, we'll see you next week. We'll be back next week, same time. And good luck with the release on Thursday. And as always, remember, have fun collecting, collect what you love, and if you're not having fun, then look for something else to buy. There's always fun things to buy in the coin world. Okay, bye for now.